Cool. 12 o'clock. All good?
We're live on YouTube. Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our discussion stream. My name is William Chute. We are, of course, going to be talking about the Code Jam event that we had here over the last week or so. I am, of course, a graduate of this software engineering program, and I am also a practicum sprint master here, and of course, a host for these Code Jam events. And I'm also a software engineer in Atlanta, Georgia. Anyway, today we'll be announcing the winners of our Spring Code Jam, and we'll talk to some people here at Practicum and listen to feedback from them, as well as talk to our winners about their experience. So without further ado, let's just go in and start talking to our guests today. First, we have Christina, one of our soft skills judges. She is also a career coach here and has a few things to say to everyone. So let's go ahead and talk to Christina. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. So I guess first off, we'll just start about how Code Jams relate to the students and their career. So how do you think these Code Jams can help with their future career, and how do they, should they share them on LinkedIn? Where should they put these projects?
Thank you so much, Will. Thanks so much for having me. I'm super excited to talk to you a little bit about how we can incorporate this in your job search and how this project is going to be so valuable for your job search. So I just want to start by saying that everybody has done an amazing job in your projects, and this is going to be an incredibly valuable experience for your job search. So I will talk to you a little bit about how it can benefit you. So I know many of you are beginning your job search and you've begun to learn new skills in web development, and this is going to be a great experience for you to add to your belt. So I like to think about your job search as a tool belt, and this is going to be one of those vital tools that you'll be able to pull out and use throughout. So it's a great experience to add to your marketing tools. So when you think about your resume and your LinkedIn profile, this is tangible experience that recruiters, hiring managers, hiring teams can look through, and they'll be able to get a sense of some of the work that you've done. So I often get questions like, should I include this project on my LinkedIn, even if it's one of my more simple projects that I've done? And the answer is absolutely yes. Any tangible projects that you have proof of that you've worked on a team with is great for so many reasons. So some of those reasons will be teamwork and presentation, which was a big part of this project, as many of you know. So it's a great way to showcase how you've worked on a team. How do you partner with others? This is a major sign when hiring teams are looking to add somebody to the mix on their team. So when they are in the interview process, half of the time it's about the hard skills that you have, and the other half of the time it's about the soft skills that you have and how you're able to work with others and how will you contribute to this team, and how do you communicate with others, and how are you just going to make this place better for us? So this brings me to my next point, which is presentation. So all about how you present yourself and your work. So this is another very valuable experience that you can take away from this project and use to your advantage when you're job searching. So just about, the skills of presenting on your project, it's important because it's going to show how you can clearly articulate and communicate your thoughts and showcase your creativity while also following instructions. So in the interview process, I see a lot of the time the hiring team is, reviewing your work, and they will ask you to participate in a real life project with them as part of the process. And this is where these skills will come in handy because you've sort of already done that working with others and, had to follow like a sort of rubric. And it's going to be the same thing when you are interviewing. So they want to see how you can follow direction, and similar to here, how you had a panel of judges grading your experience, they'll also have the same setup where they are evaluating any work that you'll do for them. So it's great tangible proof to show that you have, some experience like this and you've done it already. So I just want to say, I hope you're all extremely proud of yourselves for the work that you've accomplished here, and I hope that you recognize how great of an experience this has been, and that you're proud to showcase it on your LinkedIn and your resume and talk about it to your networks, even share it, because it's only going to do great things for your search and, as you continue to advance your career.
Awesome. Yeah, great answer. A lot of very useful advice in there too. You're totally right on a lot of these job interviews. And of course, the job itself is very much a team effort. So seeing how you can fit in with the team and add to the team it's huge. Programming, we think so much as being kind of isolational and it's just you and your computer. But when you get into the workforce, you are working with tons of different people and connecting and collaborating a ton. So it's very useful. Lastly, Christina, I just want to ask one more question about what you do here at Practicum. You're a career coach, I believe. Could you talk a little bit about that in our career program?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. So I'm the career counselor in our acceleration program. So basically, what I do is I work one-on-one with the students in the acceleration program. We work on refining your marketing tools. So again, think resume, LinkedIn, cover letter if it's required, even any messages that you want to send when you're networking to, any hiring team members. We work together on putting a job search strategy in place. So a lot of the time, the job search can feel in a new field, especially can feel a little bit overwhelming and, almost a little bit isolating when you're sort of, reading through job requirements and imposter syndrome kicks in and you feel sort of like overwhelmed. I'm here to partner with you to make sure that you are fully prepared throughout every step of the process. I'm the person that you can rely on with any questions or just to flush out any thoughts that you have throughout the search. So, for example, if this experience was valuable to you today, this is just a little tip of the iceberg as far as what we cover in career acceleration. So that's a little bit about the program and a little bit about me and how I contribute to the Practicum team.
Awesome. Yeah, great summary. Thank you so much. And we really appreciate your time today. Thank you for coming in and thank you for helping these students as well. It really seems like our graduates and students are in good hands in the career department, at least. So thank you, Christina.
Awesome. Thank you.
So to our next, I guess, audience participation person, I believe we have Danila here. Oh, our design judge, of course, Danila. You've been a judge for pretty much all of these co-jams since the beginning. You also work closely with our apiary projects, creating designs for these students. And so obviously we really appreciate your input and your advice. So let's go ahead. I have a few questions here if you don't mind. Let's see. So why do you think we include design as one of our judging criteria with all of these code jams? Even though these students are maybe more web dev or software engineering, we still always grade them on their design as well.
Hello, yeah, I'm happy to be here in the first place. And I want to say that all of the participants have done a good job. And so answering your first question is, I think even though most of the students are software engineers in the first place or studying to become them, I want to say that design still matters. And it matters because it's about how users will perceive your content. So if you want to convey your message clearly, you need your visual communication to be precise and effective. And your web pages for the code jam are not an exception here, because if you want to communicate a message, you always communicate it with the fonts, with the colors, with the illustrations, and in the web pages with the interactive elements, of course. So I would say, even though you're focused on the code, you're focused on the engineering stuff, but still keep in mind that your design will affect how users will, and essentially how people who will employ you probably will perceive what you do.
Awesome. Yeah, I definitely couldn't agree more. Design is something I found kind of difficult the first few times I tried to make my own projects. But it's one of those things, the more you do it, the better you get at it, of course, just like anything else. So you kind of touched on this a bit with your first answer there, but why is it important for these software engineers to understand even like the basics of web page design?
Yeah, I would say there are 3 points. Yeah, 3 points. And the first one is that if you understand the basics of design, it will be easier for you to later create your own portfolio, for example, and to present yourself to the potential employer. It will be easier to make your content readable and to make people perceive it easier and in a more fun and engaging way, probably, I would say. So that will make you more valuable as an employee. So the second point is that developers often work with designers. Like if, for example, you work in a startup and there is a designer who designs a web page or an application, and you will definitely work with these people because they will explain to you their concepts and how the page is made, and you will be implementing this functionality. So kind of, I believe that both designers and developers have to speak on the same language and understand each other's world. So I would say that as like myself, when I was studying as a designer, I also studied the web development. And for some time when I graduated, I was working as a freelance designer, but I was not only designing the pages, but for some simple projects, I was also developing them myself. And that was like a huge bonus for me. So probably once you can do something like that too. And if not, you can find like a mate who would like design some parts of the website and you would implement it. And I think that's always like a combo. If a designer is good and the developer is good, the project will be like all right, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Very good point. I've noticed the same thing in my experience, especially with front-end developers. You will oftentimes be doing a little bit of the design yourself. Depending on the size of the company too, there may not even be a designer. And so the web developer or software engineer has to do the design as well. So it's definitely really good to have those crossover skills. Now, in general, how did you find the projects rather of this code jam? Anything in particular you want to know?
Well, first of all, I want to thank all of you who tried to make a small effort and thought of your design to make it like a little bit better than just normal. So like, I think each of the teams has made that attempt at least. And all of the projects are like okay and nice, but there were some that stood out to me because they were good to some like little details and they were consistent throughout their design, and the colors were matching their other colors, so the combination was good. And one of these projects was the page for Terry by the Caffeinated Coders team, and the other one was the page for Terry by Sprint Ninjas. I think these two projects, they are using the composition good, they're using the color combinations well, they are using the font sizes well, and it's not something really complicated, you know. I think it's just about this precision and accuracy of your work, and yeah, that's it that I have to say for this code jam.
Cool. And then any tips you can give our students or participants for the next code jam?
Yeah, of course. As mentioned in previous two projects, I would say you have to aim for something simple. Like, don't overcomplicate your designs. Don't try to go for like designing a whole like Instagram from scratch, because like that might be too complicated for the beginner project, I think. And if you try to think about too much stuff at the same time, you will probably get lost. So start from something simple, and from there you will be able to scale and I don't know, innovate on things. So it's better to start simple, I think. Like you can even create like a boundary of styles that you will be using and follow them. Like for some point it might seem hard, but then it will help you, I think. So like create some boundaries for yourself first. The second piece of advice I would say is to pay attention to the details, like pay attention to fonts and paddings consistency. Like if you use like padding from the heading number 1 to heading number 2 or to the paragraph, like 30 pixels, like use it consistently. Don't change it to 32 pixels, 31 pixel, or like 24 pixels. Like if you have this defined, like let it be defined for the whole page. But also don't be afraid to copy. Like find the designs that you like on Pinterest or on Behance or on Instagram, wherever, and try to copy them. That's not like a big deal. I mean, don't copy when you're a professional or when you're doing a commercial work, because that's not good and even sometimes not legal. But if you are studying, it's not a mistake to copy. Basically, that's how we learn, I think. So try to copy the designs that you like and apply your topic or your content to these pages. And you will see that you will later be able to take this, how would you say it, like take these techniques in your own work and then apply them and modify them, and you will grow your own kind of understanding on what's going on. Thank you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Really great advice. Definitely take that and run with it. He's totally right. Copying the masters leads to mastery. It really does. So find what's good out there and realize it's good for a reason. And if you can do the same thing, you're on the right track. So yeah, thank you, Danilo. Appreciate your time as always. Okay, moving up, we have one more judge to talk to. This person is actually another graduate of our software engineering program and someone who has participated in many of these code jams and done very well herself. Honestly, a very inspiring student, I find personally. Shraddha, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, Will. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So first off, do you mind telling us a little bit about your experience at Practicum? I mentioned you're a graduate and you've also participated in these code jams.
It was great. Like I graduated last month and I learned a lot. Like the entire program gave me a structure to what I wanted to study. And it helped me like fill up so many gaps that I wonder like if I wouldn't have had this through this program. It's like just so much out there. So you kind of get confused. It's really helpful. The entire Practicum team, be it from mentors to community managers, and even the community of students is so helpful. So I really enjoyed my time here.
Awesome. Well, that's great to hear. That's very good. What about the code jams? Did you find them useful? Did you find them fun? Did you share the results? Put them on your LinkedIn or something?
Yeah, I really like code jam. Like I have always liked to participate in it. I liked participation more than that. But I feel like when I look back, code jams have helped me in so many things. But in particular, I have this fear of like, I still remember the first code jam that I participated with. It was with Jenna and Jess. And I was like freshly out of my sprint third. And I was so nervous just to present myself in front of people, like what to say and to work in team. Like I was really nervous. But then I have pushed myself in every code jams. And when I look back now, I have overcome that fear of like presenting myself, of just enjoying the people whom I happen to work with. That is something I feel like I wouldn't have done it if not for code jams. It has given me a like opportunity to just put myself out of my comfort zone and just I couldn't have done this. Like this is a very important skill for anybody. You can learn a lot, you know a lot in head, but if you are not able to like put yourself confidently in front of people and enjoy the work that you are doing in team, it really doesn't help. So code jams have helped me in that a lot. I have shared my experience in LinkedIn. I like it, like whatever little we achieve in those 3 days. Initially, in my first code jam, I was like, oh, it is just a little thing. Should I really share on LinkedIn? But I realized that whether 2 or 3 days, whatever we do in a team, it's really a big task like we achieve. It's not a little thing. We should be appreciative of ourselves, whatever we have done, and just to showcase in a professional platform that, see, this is what we did as a team, right from the process of design to the final product that you are seeing. It's a good thing to share. I don't feel shy of doing that.
Awesome. Yeah, great. Well, some awesome advice there as well. Very cool. So how did you like being on this side of the code jam, being a judge?
Well, it's funny. When I was a participant, I always used to think, why does it take so much time for a judge to mark our code? Like we do things in 3 days. Why do you take a week to do like the marking? But yeah, just being at this side, I'm more appreciative of the work that goes behind. We hardly see it. It's hard. I mean, to just go over somebody else's code and you are responsible at that position to just mark and give comments to others. It's a very delicate and responsible position. I kind of appreciate it more now. And there is so much of work that goes at the back apart from the judges too that you get to see. And I feel like every code jam when Yulia is putting, it's so much of work. So I kind
Yeah.
of appreciate it more.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's definitely a lot of work, and we are very appreciative of all the people that help us out.
Yeah.
Putting this thing together. But all the student feedback is usually always very positive, and students like yourself enjoy it. So we are happy to offer these events.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then I think I just have one more question in general. How do you think these co-jams can help the students with their careers, or like what do you think is most important about these co-jams?
I feel like it's very different working on, like, practicum give very much of practical experience working like sprint wise. You get to work on different projects, but that is very different than code jam environment. It's like you are working with people and getting an opportunity to think over your entire project, however you want it to look, what do you want to code and stuff. So that sense of owning everything as a team, that comes here, that experience you get it here firsthand. So I feel just explaining this to your future employer or talking to somebody, that's something that you have owned from the starting to end and this is what you achieved, is really great. Plus I feel like I didn't do this, but I would encourage people uh, to do it, that whatever design or ideas you have come up with in your code jam, just to take out time later and to work on it and make it a complete project. I regret that I haven't done that. I should have. It's because when I go back, I was like, oh, there were so many ideas in my head which I could have implemented it. So, but I know people like Jake, and they have worked on their project completely. And when you go and see, you really like it, like how it has evolved. So these ideas that you get to work in code jams are really helpful. Like, it gives you a thing to talk about. What are you going to talk about to your future employer otherwise? So
Right.
yeah,
Awesome.
it helps me.
Great. Well, yeah, that totally answered my question. Yeah. Thank you so much, Shraddha. We really appreciate your time. And thank you, obviously, for helping us judge as well. We really appreciate it.
It was so nice to be with all of you. Thank you.
Great. Awesome. So that's everyone we have to talk to today. Thank you all so much. We love talking to the experts behind the scenes. It's very useful information for our students and for anyone going through our program. So we'd love to have you all here. Thank you. Going on next, I'm going to talk really briefly about our scoring system, just so you know, and announce the winners. So for the past week, our judges have been evaluating these projects. We gave 36 points to the landing page for the character, 9 of which came from the design. 36 points in addition were given to the second landing page, the project or the hobby page. Once again, another 9 points of that is coming from the design. And lastly, 28 points were given based on their presentation. The students had to present these projects last week. And so that is a total of, I believe, 100 points. So let's go ahead and announce the team's top 3. Starting in third place, we have Team Kangaroo with Otsan, Tamar, and Amit. They received 85 points. So really awesome job there, Team Kangaroo. Second place, moving on up, we have the Team Sprint Ninjas. There were Shen, Maria, and Kerwin with 88 points. So very close there. And next, finally, the winners of the Code Jam, we gave that to the Caffeinated Coders with Shri, Solomon, and Timothy. 96 points total. Congratulations. That is awesome. I'm sorry, that was Ori, Solomon, and Timothy. But yeah, congratulations. They did an awesome job. I was a huge fan of their pages. Very great work there all together. I believe we have Solomon and possibly Ori on the call with us today. Are you here?
Hello there. Yes, I am.
Hey, awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you both. Congratulations. Y'all did an awesome job. How do you feel?
Thank you. Thank you. I feel incredible. This is quite a good feeling after, I would say, having aged 3 years and 3 days. So it feels very good to take the one. But everyone did an amazing job, and we really appreciate all the judges and everyone who put so much time and effort into grading it and giving feedback. Because I did go through it point by point. and made sure like to take it, to actually have some takeaways. So really, really appreciate your time.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You're right. All the teams did very well. In fact, going through and grading all 20 projects, most of them were all very close in points. Only a few points separated the top from the middle, from the bottom. So everyone was doing a lot of really great things with these projects. So let's see, I'm just going to go ahead and go through some of my questions here. What skills do you think that you've learned in the past few months were the most useful for this code jam?
I'm just going to speak up just because I know that Ori's a little bit nervous. I'm also a little bit nervous. This is something new for us all.
All good, my friend.
But I would say that a few things. Firstly, definitely GitHub. Well, that's a big one. I mean, obviously, you need to know the hard skills to be able to work as a team. But also on the soft skill end of things, not to mention all the web development itself, the soft skill end of things to be able to function as a team, being able to work in practicum side project as well that really focuses on teamwork. I don't know if every single cohort has it, but we have it in our cohort, and it really, really helped. And just, to be able to feel the process out before we actually did the code jam helped a whole lot. So.
Cool. Yeah, makes sense. Do you have a favorite part, like most fun, most enjoyable part of this process?
When everything works, honestly, when everything just clicks together.
Right.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I understand that. Sometimes it unfortunately does not work. In fact, a lot of the times in our job, things just do not work. But when they do, definitely very rewarding. So that's good to hear. Now, how did your team work together? Were you located roughly in the same time zone, or once again across the world this time, or?
Yeah, so Ori and myself were located here in Israel, here meaning in Israel, and Timothy was out in the US. We let's just say we all had to sacrifice and sleep. Timothy is just a machine. Like he came home from work and did not sleep. Like he just worked through the night. But it was worth it for a 3-day project that we all had an amazing time to experience. And yeah, the time zones did get in the way, but we got through it successfully.
Well, hopefully you were able to sleep at least enough. We never encourage a lack of sleep, but it's good to hear you were able to, team up and work together and put together such a great project in such a short amount of time. I was going to say, let's see, another thing. I just lost the question I was going to ask. I'm so sorry, but let's see. Do you think it was useful for you to participate? It sounds like you lost some sleep and it was a bit stressful, but do you come away from it at least thinking, hey, it was worth the time?
I would say, Ori, would you say yes? Yes, absolutely. I would say a big resounding yes. It's not often that you get to come across the opportunity to really, challenge yourself with a time limit, because usually when you do your own side projects at home, you don't really have the same push and the same kind of like Shraddha was discussing. Suddenly, like you're in the think tank mode and you have all these ideas coming up and you don't have that same adrenaline. So definitely, to experience that is absolutely worth it. I would say I'm going to join code jams in the future just as well.
Awesome. Well, that's really good to hear. Then we'll, if you keep joining them, we'll keep making them, like no problem at all. So once again, congratulations to both of you. And of course, Tim, I believe he's working today. We understand. Totally makes sense. But thank you again for joining us and congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you to everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. So I believe that is it from us today for this stream. I just want to, of course, thank those who organized this code jam, put everything together. We have Andre, Yulia, Danila for the idea and for judging as well, rules and instructions. Kira created these amazing pictures for our heroes, the artwork that our students were able to use. Olivia for obviously announcing the event on social media and putting that side together. Natasha provided the prizes to our participants. And of course, our judges for the code. We had Shraddha, Josh, one of our tutors, Andre, and of course, myself. I was judging as well. And design judges, Danila and Nastia, and presentation judges, Natasha and Christina, who also joined us here today. And our amazing host, Of course, that's me, William. Just kidding. All I do is talk. I really have the easy job. So thank you everyone else for doing all the difficult jobs. And of course, thank you to all of our students. We would not have a CodeJam if it were not for y'all. Without participants, it would just be me here standing, talking into the computer about nothing, right? So what fun would that be? So anyway, thank you again to everyone. Congratulations to the winners. And I hope everyone has a fantastic week. And I'll just sign off with happy coding.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.